HOA built 58 homes on my land, so I flooded them all. In the sleepy town of Willow Creek, 62-year-old farmer Jed Harper had lived on his sprawling 200-acre property for decades. The land, passed down through generations, was his pride and joy, a patchwork of fields, a small creek, and a modest farmhouse where he'd raised his kids. But trouble brewed when the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, HOA, set their sights on his land. The HOA, backed by a shady developer, claimed Jed's property was underutilized and pushed to rezone it for a new housing project. They used every trick in the book, legal loopholes, forged documents, and relentless pressure, to seize the land. Jed fought hard, but the courts ruled against him, and within a year, 58 cookie-cutter homes stood where his fields once grew. The new residents, oblivious to the land's history, moved in with their manicured lawns and HOA rules. Jed, however, wasn't one to roll over. He'd noticed something the developers hadn't. The creek on his remaining sliver of land fed into an old irrigation system, one his grandfather had built to control water flow. The developers had ignored it, building the new homes on a floodplain without proper drainage. Jed saw his chance point one stormy night, with rain already swelling the creek. Jed and his daughter Clara, a fiery 34-year-old who'd inherited his stubborn streak, got to work. They diverted the creek's overflow into the old irrigation channels, directing the water straight toward the new subdivision. By morning, the neighborhood was a lake, water lapped at porches, cars floated down streets, and the HOA president stood in knee-deep water, screaming at Jed from across the flood. "You built on my land," Jed shouted back, his voice steady as he leaned against his truck, cap pulled low. "Now you can swim in it." Clara, wading through the mess to check the damage, couldn't help but laugh. "They should have listened, Dad," she said, shaking her head. The HOA tried to sue, but the court ruled in Jed's favor this time. The developers had ignored flood risks, and Jed's actions were on his own property. The homes were condemned, the HOA dissolved, and Jed reclaimed his land, now a soggy reminder of his defiance. He turned it into a wetland preserve, a final middle finger to the developers who tried to take everything from him.